Most Saturday mornings, when I get up, I've absolutely no idea where I'm going to be, who I'm going to be with, but there is one thing I do know, is I'm going to be doing parkrun. This morning, we're at Lister Parkrun in Bradford. I'm here on my own because Talia wasn't feeling up to it this morning, so I'm going to be ticking off L. I knew it was going to be an alphabeteer challenge, I just didn't know which one I was going to do. We'll see what Lister Parkrun's all about. So, you're going to be getting a full course POV with the stats overlaid. I've not done that for a few weeks, so we're going to do that today. It's quite a hilly / undulating part, this, on the warm-up, so it's going to be interesting.
Not been on your feet doing anything, just
I know we've still got lots of people streaming in, but we will get the briefing going, and then we'll try and get off reasonably on time. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
And we're off. And it looks like the watch was looking to stay in bed, just like Talia, as it's failing to register anything for the first 5 to 6 seconds. And it's caught up to me now. So you may have noticed I didn't say 6 to 7 seconds. I've been tortured enough with that by the kids over the past few months. And it's a decent start here, but I'm careful not to get too carried away. I did an extended warm-up as part of a longer run, but couldn't quite work out which way the course ran. What I did make out is the park runs along a big slope, and if I go out too quickly at the beginning, I may struggle up ahead if you have to take on one of the many climbs. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll know just how fond I am of the inclines. But as I've already done the run you're seeing today, I can confirm that aside from the ironically named Tiny Hill, which has a rather steep gradient, the rest of the course was a lot more manageable. We start off with a steady but barely noticeable climb. We pass the volunteers just up ahead before an extended downhill period of roughly 1 kilometre. And the first time down this was a treat. I let the decline do the work and kept it steady and controlled. I start to make a few moves on the downhill section as the gravity assist helps to carry me in the forward direction. So Lister Parkrun is a 3-lap course. We start in the middle of the park and finish just beyond outside the stunning Cartwright Hall. I have a feeling this is perhaps one of the busiest parkruns in Bradford, comparable to Heaton Park over in Manchester in terms of the atmosphere in the park and the volunteer count. For me, it had race day vibes to it, with loads going on in the park. Today's event was number 730, and I believe a new weekly attendance record of 738 runners was set a few weeks earlier, highlighting the course's popularity locally. So the 1k split comes in at 3:40, helped largely by the fact the majority of that was downhill. The second kilometre might not be so kind, as I'm sure to hit an incline soon. So this guy here in the black headband quickly became my pacer for the day. He seemed like he was going at a pace I could keep with. There was a few moments in which I contemplated making a move, but observing his relaxed form, I had a feeling he wasn't going all out and was pacing this one correctly. There's only so much downhill the gravity gods will gift before you are presented with a much sterner test, and a sterner test we have. Despite not being a particularly long or gradual climb, it was a steep one, and any hopes of carrying on the momentum and speed from the long downhill section are quickly thrown out the window. But as we approach the top of the hill, the pace has dropped off significantly and is closer to 5-minute kilometre pace, and it does take me a short while to recover. This middle section, although still climbing, is a much more subtle incline. Thank you. I've still got black headband in my sights, but he's made a bit of ground on me off the hill. We now pass the bandstand and make our way to the back of Cartwright Hall.
Thank you.
Well done.
We are greeted by a number of volunteers offering encouragement. As always, a big shout out to all the volunteers here today. Just like at all the other parks I visited, they were fantastic. Not only would Parkrun not be possible without these guys, they also contribute massively to the atmosphere of the run. Some proper characters here today. So the 2k split comes in, and we barely make that magical 20-minute 5k kilometre split time of 4 minutes, and it's a 3:57. So I knew that wasn't going to be as quick. I also knew that the splits today weren't going to come back even. It all rested on how much of the teeny tiny hill we had to endure during each kilometre split. As we approach the halfway point of today's park run, and we are now back on the extended decline. The gap between me and Black Headband has closed once again. This wasn't a conscious push or surge. In fact, I was using this big downhill section to take a breather and recover. But momentum seems to carry me down hills much quicker than it does up them. And it's at this point we start to meet the traffic of the tail walkers and those still on the first lap.
Thank you.
As we head onto teeny tiny hill for the second time, I once again contemplate making a move. But Black Headband finds a little extra as the gradient gets the better of me. As we turn off teeny tiny hill and head back towards the start line. So the 3 kilometre split comes in at 3:49. We've made a little bit of time back from the second kilometre, and it did include the teeny tiny hill, but we're now about to enter the make or break 4th kilometre, and as you will know, the make or break 4th kilometre is always tough during a quicker effort. Speaking of quicker efforts, I didn't quite make up my mind on how I was going to be running this one today. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll know I like to keep people guessing, including myself most of the time.
Good everybody.
I suppose, if I'm honest, I knew this was going to be a challenging effort. I wasn't thinking complete full send. With no prior knowledge of the course, I thought a hard, touching on threshold type effort would do. I've done no speed specific work during the month of January. Instead, I've focused on building my aerobic engine and opted to try and increase my weekly mileage whilst keeping my intensity low in order to avoid injury or setbacks. So far, that has worked well. The body is holding up okay. I intend to reintroduce some speed work during February, now that I've had time to adjust, and then start gearing towards some races and full sends by the time spring arrives. The make or break 4th kilometre comes in and it's 3:52. I can work with that. I know we're on for a sub 20 now if I can just hold the pace I'm going at. Just one more time up teeny tiny hill and then see if I've got anything left for the home straight. So speaking about the spring plans, I have a few surprises to announce in the coming weeks. I'm keeping them under wraps for now, but I'm hoping for another big year in 2026. But that's all I'm giving you for today. If you want to know more, feel free to tag along by subscribing to the channel.
Well done, mate. Good.
Thank you.
You can also follow me on Instagram. My tag is in the bio. Now, back to the action as I approach the end of this park run. So one last time up Tiny Hill, and I'm glad to see the back of that one today. As we move through a sea of park runners, past the bandstand for the final time today, up towards the back of the hall. The end is in sight, the heart rate is now firmly in threshold. I'm trying to find a little something extra for the finish, and as he approached the final bend, I see 19 minutes on the clock has been breached, shortly followed by the 5 kilometre split going off slightly early, and then as I look at the watch, I see a blank screen. My battery has died. Oh no, what am I going to do?
Thank you.
Somehow managed to get the final split of 3:55 off the data when I got home.
Right. My watch has just gone off. Has anyone got my barcodes on my watch? Can you give me a name? I'll just see if I can get this on. Give me a few minutes.
So that's Lister Parkrun done. L ticked off on the alphabeteer app. My watch died about 10 feet away from the finish. I've just done my cool down and my official parkrun time has come in, so it was 19:22 today. I really enjoyed that parkrun. It was a really good course. It's got potential to be really quick. There's the teeny tiny hill that you have to do 3 times, but other than that, it felt like a lot of that run was going downhill. The course was well attended, plenty of people there today, great atmosphere, spoke to lots of people at the end. It's a really good run. I would recommend this parkrun. So my cool down's done now anyway. I'm gonna head back to the car. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.